So the Indianapolis Colts play a very important game on Sunday back at home against the Miami Dolphins, trying to get to a 4-3 record, a winning record for the first time this season. So today, wanted to talk about some things the Colts must do in order to win on Sunday against Miami. So let's get into it. All right, we are back. What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Your host, as always, Cody Felger. Guys, like I mentioned, big game for the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. They play host to the Miami Dolphins. The Colts have a chance here to have a winning record at 4-3 if they can take care of business against Miami. And these are some things, guys, that I want to talk about today that I think are going to be some of the keys to victory for Indianapolis if they hope to come out of Sunday's game with a W. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But before we do that, just want to remind you guys, this episode is presented by PrizePicks. Be sure to download the app today and use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All right, guys, let's get into it today. So the first thing for me when looking at this game for the Indianapolis Colts, it's been something that I think we've talked about, and the Colts have done an okay job really the last couple weeks. They've had some good moments, some not great moments, but the thing for the Indianapolis Colts that they need to do in this game for sure is the Colts have to make sure that they are winning the line of scrimmage. I mean, I think this is something you talk about every week, but it feels like the Colts, like I said, have had some moments where they've looked like really good doing that, and they've had some not great moments as well. Now, on the offensive side for the Indianapolis Colts, they've done a fairly good job protecting their quarterback, Joe Flacco, the last couple weeks. Now, with Anthony Richardson most likely back in this game, does that change up anything? I don't think it does. You know, Miami's not the greatest when it comes to getting after the quarterback, but they still do have a few guys that can get after the quarterback. Emmanuel Ogbah is the biggest name there for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, they won't have Bradley Chubb in this game, which is definitely a big hit for them. And they just won't be at full strength. But there's still some players in here that you need to watch out for if you are the Indianapolis Colts. And that's definitely something the Colts just need to do is, protecting their quarterback. Like I said, they've done a pretty good job of that. And we'll kind of see what happens with Ryan Kelly if he's going to start. He did have some days where he did practice, so we'll see what happens with that. If it's him, if it's Tanner Bortolini, not entirely sure, but the Colts definitely need to protect their quarterback, keep his pocket clean for the most part, and give him opportunities to throw the ball or to scramble if needed. That's what the Colts need to do the most. But the biggest thing the Colts really have not been able to do really for a while now is the Colts haven't been able to, without Jonathan Taylor haven't really been able to run the football very well. I mean, we saw even last week, the Colts were not able to run the ball at all against the Tennessee Titans. And, if you looked at what the Titans' quote unquote weak point was on defense, it definitely was that run defense. And the Colts, while they did have a couple nice runs, it definitely was nothing to write home about. The Colts definitely struggled. And again, Taylor hasn't practiced pretty much all week at this point. So, I mean, it's probably going to be Trey Sermon and Tyler Goodson once again, barring anything crazy that happens on Friday. But the Colts, they really have struggled to run the football. Very, very much so. Like I said, the Miami Dolphins obviously going to be without a few players there. And even a few of their players that have been kind of filling in or have been playing. Emmanuel Ogbah, Calais Campbell, some of those guys a little bit banged up. I know more Ogbah's banged up. So it's going to be interesting to see. Miami does come into this game as a defense that very much can be run on. Right now, they are the 18th run defense in the NFL. So, while they're not terrible, they're certainly not great in any department. So this would be a game, if there's any, for the Colts where they need to be able to establish the run and do some stuff there. If they're able to do that, I think that just helps so much because Miami, say what you want about Miami, running the football against them, you cannot pass the ball against them. They come in as a third-ranked passing defense in the NFL. They're a team that definitely, can take the ball away as well. So the Colts definitely need to establish the run there. And I think that will go a long way for your offense staying efficient, because Miami definitely has some players back there that can do some really, really good things in that secondary. So Colts got to be mindful of that. And I think it starts with establishing the line of scrimmage there. And when you flip over to the defense, specifically the front seven defensive line linebackers, I mean, the Colts just simply have to be better in pretty much every category right now when it comes to their front seven, right? Miami, obviously, without Tua Tagovailoa, right now they come in as the 26th best team in terms of passing. So they are not doing anything passing the football. So the Indianapolis Colts got to do what, frankly, they haven't done in the last number of weeks, and that's get after the quarterback. They have to make life for the quarterback extremely difficult. As positive in certain ways the secondary has been the last couple weeks, I mean, really, you need more from that defensive line. You just do. And I know there's been some injuries for sure, but you just frankly need to get after the quarterback, make his life a little bit more uncomfortable this week, and actually get a sack would be a nice start there. The Colts haven't got a sack in 8 quarters now? It's kind of wild, actually. Well, guys, with football season finally getting back into the swing of things, first off, we rejoice, but also, guys, when it comes to PrizePicks, this is going to be a great way for you guys, especially, to check out some of the stuff that PrizePicks has. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You heard me right. Only 4 correct picks. You can win 100 times your money, guys, on PrizePicks. Be sure to sign up today and get $50 off instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So if you're looking specifically for the Colts stuff, that's definitely something you guys should check out. But if you're looking for, like me, more NFL stuff, there's all sorts of stats and stuff that you can check out and make your picks. And there's definitely guys that are very consistent, like Jonathan Taylor against the Houston Texans, that you really feel like you can probably feel pretty good about overall, right? And there's some other ones where you're like, I don't know if I would take the over on that. I don't know if I would pick them to hit that margin, right? So, guys, be sure to go check out all that stuff on PrizePicks. It's only a couple examples. There's all the different odds that you could hope for when it comes to that for PrizePicks. So I encourage you guys to go check that out, but definitely excited for this season, and hopefully you guys will be following along with us and everything with PrizePicks and what they do. So be sure to download the app today. Use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code JUICE to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Like I said, guys, it's a great way to continue to stay in with week to week life of the NFL, specifically with your favorite team, the Indianapolis Colts. So be sure to do that. Be sure to check out PrizePicks. And remember, PrizePicks, run your game. But when it comes to running the football, Miami, right kind of smack dab in the middle running the football. We know what they're able to do with a couple different players. We'll see on that chain. He did practice fully. So he's dealing with that concussion, so he probably will play, barring something crazy in this game. But, Miami does have the ability to run the ball with him, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Wright. So they have the opportunity. They have Jeff Wilson as well. So they have, a couple different backs that can run the ball. And we know the Colts coming into this have not been the greatest, running the football. The Colts have proven they can very much be run against, especially missing DeForest Buckner for as long as they've missed him for, and he's probably not going to play in this game. So, the Colts just got to do a much better job. And I feel like last week, even though there was really that big back-breaking run by Tony Pollard, I felt like the run defense wasn't as bad as it's been in recent weeks. It probably can't get any worse than it's been in recent weeks. But Colts got to really, I think, force Miami to throw the football. Frankly, I think that's what they got to do. We know they're not going to throw the ball effectively. So you got to stop the run. You got to establish that line of scrimmage. Your linebackers actually got to tackle. You can't have all those missed tackles. The Colts were a lot better this last week at that, but still there was a couple back-breaking missed tackles that just really killed you in that game on defense. So Defense has got to clean that up. Front seven's just got to play better in general. If the Colts can establish that line of scrimmage, I think they have a great chance here to really do some good things against this really struggling Miami offense. So line of scrimmage, first and foremost for Indianapolis. If they can win on both sides of the ball, I really think that's going to go a long way in this. And then I think that kind of leads to, even though Miami hasn't been able to pass the ball, they still have some really explosive weapons. So I think the Colts obviously getting pressure on Tyler Huntley early and often will go a long way. And then just not allowing these game-breaking players to, have the ability to break the game. Like, I just think that's a big thing. We obviously know what Tyreek Hill can do. We know what Jalen Waddle can do. So if Indianapolis can just not really let Tyler Huntley get the ball to them as much as possible, I think that will be massive, massive in this game. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to, passing the football, I mentioned Miami really good against the pass. I think for Anthony Richardson, it's like, you know what? Yes, he's obviously going to have his moments where he's going to take those deep shots, but just no unnecessary risks. Like, sometimes it's okay, man, to throw it away. Sometimes it's okay to pass up the, 30-yard bomb for, a 5-yard check down. Like, just some of those things, right? Don't give Miami life. Don't do some of the things that you have done this year when it comes to just unnecessary turnovers, right? When you could settle for 3, do it if you have to, and if your defense is playing like they should be playing in this game with against a backup quarterback, I think you definitely don't need to go crazy in this game if you're Anthony Richardson. Now, again, he still could, and especially with your wide receivers as hurting as they are. All through your wide receivers on the injury report in some capacity. So if you're the Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson, man, if you can start really early and often running the football, I think that will just take a lot of pressure off. But, unless you just cannot run the football, I think if you're the Colts, if you're Anthony Richardson, you're running the ball well, like, don't make Anthony Richardson throw the ball 20, 30 times. Like, just take it easy. It's his first game back. Don't do anything stupid. Take care of the football. Play good winning football. You can afford to be a game manager if you can run the ball effectively. That's what I think Anthony Richardson needs to do in this game. Don't take those unnecessary risks or unnecessary hits. And really, man, just allow what you built this team to do it. So we'll see on that. But guys, that really is it. Like I said, Miami comes into this. They're not a great football team right now. Tua's obviously been missing. Miami at 2-3 right now. Haven't been able to really score a whole lot. They do have a good pass defense. Their defense is, in general, is pretty solid. So the Colts just can't give a bad team momentum. And if they do that, it could be a lot closer than we're all thinking of. But we'll see on that, guys. We'll see what the Colts do, if they end up taking care of business or not. But let me know if there's anything else that you guys would say are some key factors for the Indianapolis Colts in this game for them to potentially come out as winners, go to 4-3, potentially make a playoff push. Curious your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, go Colts.